Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, we will wait for everyone to join. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Is my voice clear? Inshallah, we will begin now chapter 2. This is the Tajweed second session. Chapter 2, as you can see, it is all about Makharij al-Huruf. Makharij means, in English, it is known as articulation point. And what do you mean by articulation point? First of all, we should know what are we studying here. Alphabets is the base of recitation. When you recite, you're actually reading the alphabets. And what is alphabets actually? It's just a pictorial representation of the various sounds that you make. So whichever sounds are coming out, how to identify them in when you want to see them. So they are the pictorial representation of the sound that comes out. So the sound will come out from various places in the mouth. Whenever we are talking, there are some alphabets like B that come out of your lips, but when you say ta, you're not using your lips, it comes out from with the help of your tongue. So the place from where the sound of the letter comes, that is known as the articulation point. It is the place of emitting the letter when pronouncing it, and this place is what distinguishes itself from the other alphabets, because each alphabet will have a distinct point. Like for example, in English you have CAT, cat, and with K is also having the same sound as what you have in cat. The sound sometimes of C is S, like in S, sometimes it's K like cat, and K also will have the same sound like CAP, cap, and KA. Say loudly. K
for cap. Cat.
No, that is CAP, cap. So K is different and C is different, but the sounds are same. Whereas in Arabic, you will have each alphabet will have a distinct sound, because each will be coming out from a distinct place. No two alphabets will come out from the same place. So that place from where the sound will come out will be known as the articulation point. Articulation point. Now for this you will have to learn the Arabic words. Makhraj is what is one, which is singular, and the plural, many articulation points, are known as makharij. So here we will be studying about the points from where all the sounds come out, all the alphabets. So we'll be studying makharij al-huruf. That is why makharij, because it's plural. Now over here there are some points written in Arabic as well, and as you can see in the coming pages, there will be a box mentioned with some Arabic words and also English mentioned below them. That box, whatever content is there, that is from the Tajweed poem by a famous Tajweed scholar known as Imam al-Jazari, and his poem is known, it has a big name actually, but in short it is known as the poem of Jazariya. Jazariya poem has everything about the Tajweed, Makharij, all the Tajweed rules, everything. They have written it in a poetic form. As you know, Arabs before, they were very fond of poetry. In fact, even now many of them are very fond of poetry. So they used to write poems for everything. They have even written poems for grammar rules, for Tajweed rules. So over here in Arabic, if you see Makhraj, المخرج هو محل الخروج الحرف عند النطق به تميزه عن غيره. This is the definition of makhraj, which we just saw, that the exit point of a letter when you're pronouncing it, and this distinguishes from other letters. And what do you mean by harf? Harf is alphabet or a letter is known as harf in Arabic, and the plural of which is huruf. Harf huwa صوت اعتمد على مخرج محق أو مقدر. Now here there are two things mentioned in this, which you will see when we proceed ahead. Huwa sawtun. Sawtun means a sound. So this harf is a sound. The letter, alphabet which you see, it is actually the sound. And this will rely on either a specific point or an approximate point. As we told, that ba, the sound of ba, b, comes out of your lips. It's a particular point. But there are some letters for which you do not have a particular point. You just have an approximation point. We will see what those are. So this articulation point, you can divide it into two categories. One is a specific point and one is approximate. Specific is one which relies on a specific place on the areas of, now it depends on the sounds which you remove are from various places. One is like some which come out of your throat, some which come out of your tongue, some which come out of your two lips. So it may rely on any specific point on these places. Or approximate point is one which will not rely on specific place of the same thing, tongue, the two lips, the throat. An approximate point is used for, or that place from where the sound comes out is the sound of the three maddiya letters, like a, u, e. Just repeat these. A, u, e. Is this straight from inside? It is straight away coming out. You cannot pinpoint, okay, the sound is coming exactly from here. That you cannot pinpoint the sound, where the sound is coming from. So that is the articulation point used for the lengthened letters. Lengthened letters means the mad letters. What do you mean by a mad? If a fatha is followed by an alif, the fatha is lengthened, so it's called a mad. If kasra is followed by a ya sukun, an empty ya, it is called I won't say ya sukun, it's an empty ya, so it is called as mad. Again, a dhamma followed by an empty waw, it becomes oo, it lengthens the dhamma, so it becomes a mad. So that is what is the lengthened letters, the alif, waw, ya, but only when they are in the form of mad. Now how can you find out that an alphabet, which is the place on which it relies, or which is the place, the makhraj of that letter? For example, I want to know the makhraj of ba. How will I be able to find out? So there are many ways. One is, what you could do is say the letter without any vowel sound. Vowel sounds are fatha, kasra, dhamma. These are known as vowel sounds in Arabic. And if you don't have any vowel sound, means you have a sukoon on top. So with a sukoon you can say the letter. And of course, if you put a sukoon, you need some haraka before it, like ab, ib, ub. Or the best is to say it with a shadda. This is better than saying it with a sukoon, like abba or abbi or abbu. So with this,
Boo.
abbu.
Boo.
No, it's a shadda. You have a sukoon. You need help. So this non-vowel letter, you will put a hamza before it with any vowel, a, e or o, and then you will pronounce it. When the sound gets cut, that you will know is that is the place of that letter, the place of the sound for that letter. So similarly, we are going to study the makhraj of all the letters. But the way how we will study is, we will not go alphabet wise. We will go by the different makhraj areas. So first what we need to do is, we need to know that there are 5 main areas. The sounds that come out are divided into the place of 5 main areas, which is, one is known as the empty space in your mouth and throat. It is known as al-jawf. Now from this, the 3 maddiya letters come, which we saw, approximate articulation point, the maddiya letters. So here this articulation point is for the 3 maddiya letters, which is al-jawf. The second area that you need to know, and this you can see as a photograph on page number 29. The second is the throat. It is known as al-halq. In the throat, again, this is the main area. Under this, you can divide it into 3 points from where the sound will come out. These 3 points are 3 makhraj. So you have 3 makhraj inside this. And from each makhraj you can say 2 letters. You can use one makhraj to say 2 letters, the other makhraj to say 2 letters, and another makhraj to say 2 letters. We will see all these in detail, but first you need to know that there are these 5 main areas. One is the empty space of mouth and throat, known as the jawf. Then one is the halq, your throat. which is divided in 3 parts. It's like one house and it has 3 doors, and in each door there are 2 people living inside. Then you have the tongue, al-lisan. The tongue has 10 points. You use 10 points on your tongue, and with these 10 points you can make the sound for 18 letters. And you have 2 lips, which is known as shafatan. They have 2 articulation points, and you can remove 4 letters from this. I will post one table after the lecture which has all these makhraj points, the main areas, how many makhraj are there in those areas, and which all letters come out of it. And then you have one more, which is the nose known as khayshum, but not actually the nose, in the nasal area inside the nose, from the whole of the nose towards the inside of the mouth. So here there is one articulation point, and that is for the gunna. Gunna is the sound that comes out of your nose. Like for example, if you want to say an, if you close your nose and try to say an, say an. So see, something will get stuck in your nose, some sound will get stuck. That is the sound of gunna. So you have 5 main areas, you have different articulation points in them, and total 17 articulation points are there in these 5 areas. Out of these 17 areas, how many alphabets, can you tell me how many alphabets do you pronounce using these areas? How many alphabets are there? You have how many alphabets in Arabic? Anyone? Just post it. You have, like English, you have 26 alphabets. English, how many alphabets? ABCD, how many?
2, 6, 26.
Okay, and in Arabic, how many?
15.
No. Add 3 to 26. 27, 28, 29.
29.
29. Some places you will read 28, some you may read 30, 31. That depends. In the sense, actual alphabets are 29, but the way they the basis on which, not 40, 29. The basis on which the other scholars say some other number is they have some other basis. But actually you have 29 alphabets. Out of them, alif does not have a sound. You cannot pronounce alif. Alif is only used in maddiya, which is a. When you say fatha and alif, that is where alif is used to lengthen the sound of fatha, maddiya sound. But alif does not have a sound. So 29 minus 1, 28 alphabets is what you will have. So you have 17 makhraj points in total. From those 17 places, you have 28 alphabets. That means from some of the makhraj points you can remove more than one letter, because if each alphabet had one makhraj, you should have 28 makhraj, but you have only 17 makhraj. 5 main areas, 17 makhraj, and 28 alphabets. How many alphabets?
28.
Loudly.
28.
Not 8, 28.
29.
30. So you have, first we will go into the jawf. Jawf is, anybody, what is jawf? The empty space in your mouth and throat. So from here, you can tell me which alphabet comes out. I'll give you a hint. There are 3. Which 3 alphabets? Can you hear me? Which 3 alphabets? Yes, right soon. Actually, you have 0 alphabets. You don't have any alphabet. The sound that comes out from the empty space in the throat and mouth, this is having one articulation point. So this is your main area as well, and this is one makhraj as well. Now we will do 5 areas and you will count the makhraj. We have to get total 17 makhraj. So this is one of the makhraj, and here the sound of the 3 mad letters come. This is a non-specific area, and the sound of the 3 maddiya letters, meaning alif sakina, al maftuhu, ma qablaha, meaning alif is sakina, it is empty, and it is preceded by a fatha. Ma qablaha is what is before it, is a maftuh, which is a fatha. Then is waw sakina, المدموم ما قبلها. الضمة is what is before the واو ساكنة. And the same ياء الساكنة المكسور ما قبلها. ياء ساكنة before which is a kasra. So these three mud letters, they don't have a specific point, like you just say a, u, e. So when your sound stops, like when you stop the sound, that is when the sound of this letter finishes. So there is no place where it stops. Like when I say ba, ab, the sound stops when I separate the two lips, because the sound is dependent on those two lips. But here it is not dependent on a specific point, so the sound stops when you stop the sound. Now here Sheikh al-Jazari, Imam al-Jazari, there is a footnote mentioned about Imam al-Jazari down. You can go through it if you want to know more about him. And his work in short is known as al-Jazariya. The full name of his poem is Manzumatu. Manzuma means a poem. Manzumatul Muqaddimatu Fima Yajibu ala Qari al-Qur'ani an ya'lamah. So in this, what does he say about these makhraj of al-jawf? Makharij al-hurufi 17, meaning total makhraj of alphabets is 17. على الذي يختاره من اختبر, according to those who choose to examine it, like if you want to know it in detail. So that's 17 makhraj is there in total. Lil jawfi, meaning for the jawf. Alifu wa ukhtaha, alif and its two sisters. Why two sisters? Because they're all maddiya. All these three are maddiya, so they are considered all sisters. Hurufu maddu lil hawa'i tantahi. So they are the mud letters and they stop with the air. So when you stop the sound, the sound stops. Then the next is halq. Halq is the second main area. So now you have done two main areas. Total we have to reach 5. And let's see in this which are there. You have in the two main areas, in the second main area, you have 3 makhraj points. You did 1 and now you have 3. So total 4 makhraj points we will do here. So the throat, you can divide it into 3 parts. And you have in these 3 parts, each of these have 2 letters that come out. One is Aqsa al-Halq. Aqsa, you can remember with Masjid al-Aqsa. Masjid al-Aqsa was known such because it was very far from Masjid al-Haram. So it's Masjid al-Aqsa. Same way, this is Aqsa al-Halq. Now when you say Aqsa, it's far. Far from where? From your lips going inwards you have to go. From your lips when you have to go inwards. So that deepest part of your throat, that is known as, which is farthest from the mouth, this is known as Aqsa al-Halq. Here you have 2 letters, Hamza wal Ha. Aqsa al-Halq, Hamza wal Ha. Then the middle part of the throat, which is known as Wasat al-Halq, which is Ain wal Ha. And then Adna al-Halq, the closest part, which is closest to the mouth, which is known as Al-Ghain wal Kha. Then again here the poem of Sheikh Imam al-Jazari is mentioned. ثم لأقصى الحلق همز حاء. The wordings are not clear here. من وسطه فعين خاء عين حاء. Then أدناه غين خاء. That's from the lowest part. You have Hamza Ha. Now how you will remember it? Imagine your tongue and then divide it into 3 parts, down, middle and up. I will be posting pictures for these inshallah. Down, middle and up. Down to up you will go. Hamza Ha, Ain Ha. You should remember Hamza Ha very well. Hamza and the small Ha. Now that Hamza, if I just put one more circle down, it becomes Ain. And this is small Ha, so you can make a big Ha. So the middle part will have Ain Ha. And if I put one dot on each of them, it becomes Ghain Kha, which is on the uppermost part of the throat. So you have 3 parts to the throat and 2 letters in each of them. So you have done 2 main makhraj points, 2 main areas and 4 makhraj points. Then now let's come to the tongue. The tongue is known as a lisan. Lisan has 10 articulation points as we saw earlier, and total 18 letters come out of the tongue. So this is the major chunk where you will be learning quite a lot of letters. 10 these 10 makhraj points on the tongue, you have 10 points. These are distributed on various areas of the tongue. So again, you need to divide the area of the tongue. Now why are we dividing these main makhraj, then main the tongue also we are dividing. And as you can see in the next page, we will be even learning the various parts of the teeth, because when you have to explain to someone how to pronounce a letter, you should tell them which area to touch exactly. Now your tongue is quite a big space, and when I say ta or when I say aq, both are from the tongue, but different areas of the tongue is used. The whole tongue will not be used for any letter. So that is why you need to know which area of the tongue to touch where. So you need to learn the various areas of the tongue. So when I'll be explaining, you should know which part I'm talking about. So we will divide the tongue into 4 parts. You can see page 31, aqsa lisan, aqsa again, which is far. So which is far from the front of the mouth you will go. So aqsa lisan is very much inside the back part of your tongue. Wasat lisan, which is the middle part of the tongue. Hayafat lisan, which is the side of the tongue, left side and right side, both sides are there. And then taraf al-lisan. Taraf means the tip of the tongue. The tip will be the edges, the exact tip. The one which is above the tip of the tongue, that is known as the top of the tongue. Zahr al-lisan, it's the top of the tongue. So let's see which alphabets come. First we will start at the most back part, aqsa al-lisan, most back part. So here one is al-qaf. Qaf is from the deepest part of the tongue. And how will you pronounce it? You have to use the deepest part of the tongue, which it should touch up on the roof of the mouth, exactly to what is opposite. So it's the most extreme part of your tongue. It should be like, now how do I know, like which is the best way to pronounce? Not with a fatha, kasra, dhamma, as we saw. Put a sukoon and pronounce it like aq, aq, qa, qa, qi, qu. It's more back, very much back. So none of the front area of the tongue should be used. If you touch any other area other than the most back part of the tongue, means your alphabet qaf is not proper. Qul a'udhu. When you say qul, qa, 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 aq, aq, you should try saying it. The only way to learn makhraj is you yourself need to say it. How much ever I say, how much ever I explain it to you, you will not learn unless you say it. And if you have someone who can listen to you and correct it, that's the way you will know whether it's proper or not. So you have to say it. Even if you don't have someone around to listen to you now, listen to an audio and try to practice it. Inshallah, one by one on this page on my account, I will be also posting practice videos. Very nicely, somebody has made some repetitions for all alphabet wise. So you can keep listening to it and keep practicing. For some of the alphabets, you will need a mirror in front of you so that you can look at the mirror and you can see if you're pronouncing it properly or no. So for now, qaf, the deepest part of your tongue, which is most back, it should touch the opposite to the roof of your mouth. So that means none other area of the tongue should be used. Then comes al-kaf. Kaf is again from the deepest part, but it's a little in front of qaf. Now on the roof, if you can just do what I'm telling you now, the tip of your tongue touch on the teeth, okay? And as you're touching on the teeth, keep pushing your tongue a little backwards. You can feel something hard on the roof of your mouth. And then if you go more back, the roof of your mouth becomes soft behind. Is it? Yes or no? Right? Yes or no? I cannot make out if you all can hear me or no. So that most back, which is the soft part of the roof, that is where you will use for qaf. Kaf will be a little in front, so it will touch the hard palate. It is known as the palate, soft palate and hard palate. So it is again deepest part, but it will touch, it's slightly under the qaf a little. It's more closer to the mouth. And again, Imam al-Jazari, he has mentioned about this in his poem, wal qafu aqsa lisani fawqu thumma al-kafu asfalu. Meaning qaf is most at the deepest part of the tongue, and then comes kaf, which is a little lower, means it's more closer to the mouth. Now all these makhraj, when you are studying, first you should know theory wise which to touch where, and if you know the theory, then you need to practically apply it. So the practical application will come only when you know the theory wise the place. So first we will go over this, and then you all need to keep practicing the area. Okay, so the middle part of the tongue, which is wasat al-lisan, from the middle part you have three letters: Jim, Sheen, Ya, and Ya, which one? Ya ghayru maddiya, meaning not the maddiya Ya. The maddiya Ya is kasra and Ya. E, that is using which one? The first makraj, which is al jawf, the which does not have a specific point. The middle, sorry, the empty space in your mouth and throat. E, not that one. This is the other Ya, which is Ya, Yi, You. That sound that uses the center of your tongue. So whenever you're going to say these three letters, Jim, Sheen, or Ya, these come from the middle part of the tongue and the roof of the mouth, which lies opposite to it. You'll use the middle part of the tongue and touch above. Now these are also known as ash-shajariyya. This is not compulsory for you to know, but it would be good, like if you want to do tajweed in detail. It may take time to memorize these terms, but it's fine. You can just pick up one term and learn it very well, and then only learn another new term. So these are known as shajariyya, not shajar. Don't put a fatha on jim, because if you put a fatha, shajar means a tree. This is not shajariyya, it's shajriyya. So huruf shajariyya, because they come from the center of the mouth. Now again, the difference between these three I will explain. For Jim, edge, it's a more strong touching, whereas for ash, there is some very tiny space between the tongue and the roof. It doesn't touch completely. And for yeah, ay, yeah, ay, there is even more space between the tongue and the roof. So the middle part of the tongue is used, but there is a difference in all the three. Now from here onwards, before we move on to other letters, as I told you, you should know the names of the teeth. Now again, here there are Arabic names written as well, but if you do not know the Arabic names now, it's fine, but you should know the structure of the teeth. Like you have front four, you have four incisors on top and same at the bottom. Then you have one canine on each side, right side, left side. So you have two canines. Same thing, you have down two canines. And then after that you have premolar, one on each side. So that's total four. And after that you have the other premolars, and then the rest are all molars, and the last is the wisdom tooth. So you should know the structure of the teeth, because for the remaining letters it's not only the tongue that you use, but you need to know the tongue should touch which part. It can either be the teeth or the area behind the teeth, but which teeth is what you should know. Right now what all we did not involve any area of the teeth. It was cough and calf, very much behind roof of the mouth, middle of the tongue, again roof of the mouth. But over here you need to know the other areas as well. Below the diagram there is an explanation of the teeth, how many teeth are there, so that again you can go through. If you have any questions, you can put it down here in the same below this. I'll be keeping this video and even the previous videos, and I didn't mention this in the first class, but these videos I will leave on for a couple of days, and after that I'm going to remove it. So if any one of you needs to revise, just let me know. But until we finish all the sessions, they will be there for you to revise. Till then they will be there, and if you have any questions you can put it down. So I'm not going through these because there are some Arabic words as well. If you want, you can learn it, but right now I will not go through them, because I'm sure most of you know all the structure of the teeth. So let's start. Hafat al-lisan. Hafat al-lisan means the side of the tongue. Now as I told you, you have right side and left side, and the side again, it's your tongue is long, right? So you have a long side. Maybe not the whole side is used. So let's see. From the side of the tongue you have two articulation points, and there are two letters. One is dad and one is lam. Hello? Yes. Am I audible? I lost connection in between. Am I audible? I stopped at this side or edge of the tongue. Hafat al-lisan. Please let me. Hafat al-lisan, the side of the tongue. From here we have two letters. a dad and a lam. Now dad will come, either you use one side of the tongue, which is the edges of the tongue aside, and you will touch this where opposite to it, whichever molars are lying, the upper molars. If you're using right side, then the right molars, left side, so left molars. So you will touch those molars. You can either use both sides at the same time, and this is one of the most difficult articulation points for Arabs also and non-Arabs also.